Let's see if we can keep this short. Hello and welcome to another episode of What If Demons Had Bangs? Today's episode is about drugs, pills, medication. The legal kind that is prescribed by a doctor for your mental ailments. A year ago I made a video about mental health and how I thought that therapy is a scam, so I wanted to kind of address that. Well, first of all, I don't really want to retract any of my statements from that video. I do believe that I said what I said. However, I think that I need to factor in what happened to me within this past few years, or like past year and a half, and tell you what I think now. Well, first of all, I'm gonna be talking about some serious stuff, so huge disclaimer. If that upsets you or you're like on the brink of cutting your throat, maybe this video is not for you, so just scroll away or like click the back button. I don't know how it works. Also, another huge disclaimer, I'm not a professional. I don't know what I'm saying. Actually I do know, you know, fuck it. I know what I'm saying, it's just that I'm not legally allowed to say that. So just take whatever I'm saying with a grain of salt or whatever. Now, that being said, I want to dive deep into the idea of going to therapy. Should you go to therapy? Well, that's actually a very good question. I know that I said that I find therapy a scam, and I still stand by it. I cannot emphasize on it more. I do, however, believe that there is a redeeming part to therapy, which is related to psychoanalysis. I do find it intriguing and enlightening of sorts. And for me, as long as you know what you're doing with that part, then the rest shouldn't really matter. Okay, let me break it this way. I have a very nice test for you, whether you're gonna benefit from therapy or not. Again, take it with a grain of salt. It's a very simple test, very cutesy, very demure, and it is that when you watch psychological content like this relationship shit and advices and stuff like that, you know, the woman who talks about like narcissists and how to deal with them, how do you feel? Does it make you feel like a normal human being who has learned something new, or does it make you feel like you're a horse who's been given an apple? If it's the latter, then maybe you need to go through some sessions of therapy with a good therapist. I'm gonna actually do another video on how to find a suitable therapist based on my own experience, who has worked with like a bunch of them at this point. So if you want, keep your eyes peeled for that. But yeah, let's assume that you know how brain works, how our patterns work, how our narcissistic parents screwed us over, you know, those stuff. There's not much to therapy after that, after making you realize how sucky your life is. There is a point with therapy that you reach a rock bottom and you cannot drill any further because it collides with the reality of your life. A big portion of your problems are political ones, you know, the things that you cannot really deal with on a personal level. Like, for example, poverty is a big issue for a lot of folks. Things like discrimination, being an immigrant, being queer, being weird, I don't know, being a nerd, liking JoJo Siwa. So yeah, if you have financial issues, then therapy is not going to work for you. That's where my second best suggestion comes into play. Drugs. Sertralin is the best drug that I've ever used. Again, I'm not a professional, so I cannot really advise anyone on taking it, or like, but you can just go to like a psychiatrist or whatever the fuck they're called, the ones with like the prescription and pills and stuff, the real doctors, I mean, and get prescribed a bunch of them. You know, they're just giving it away. A GP wrote it for me. So what I think about the pills, you know, medical intervention can work in a way that it has real effect on your brain chemistry, which allows you to cope well, at least, with real life issues. And I want to like kind of give you my own insight, my own experience with the medications that I took. For me, it was Sertralin, so like if you want to like consider taking it or going on it, this might help you. Of course, like every case is different, it might have weird effects on you. Contact your doctor or your local authorities. But what happened for me when I started taking the pills was that, well, For 3 weeks it will fuck with you in unspeakable ways. I couldn't sleep, I couldn't really concentrate on much, I had constant headaches. But aside from that, ever since then, the first 3 weeks, I've been feeling pretty well. It's really hard to explain. I always had this fear of like losing myself or losing my authentic self, in a way that like if I take the pills then I won't feel like myself anymore and it would impact my like art or work or whatnot. It didn't. I'm the same guy. The same guy with erectile dysfunctions now, except for that minor detail that I just disclosed to you, random stranger on YouTube, but I'm pretty much the same guy. Now if I want to like explain how it worked for me and how it made me feel, I would probably describe it as like, imagine the house is burning. You're still able to perceive the idea of the danger, the impending doom, and you can see the flames, you can feel the heat. You're very much connected to the reality around you, and you're able to take actions to mitigate them or like prevent further losses. But it doesn't bother you that much. It's like living life when you're high on weed, except that you don't really need to up the dose or anything. In general, I'm pretty happy with the results. I feel like I made the right decision by going on the meds. And babe, when I say turmoil, I mean turmoil. I've been dealing with a lot of shit lately. A big breakup, a smaller one, and a bunch of like financial issues that I had to navigate through. I managed to do all of those things and I'm back and healthy and up and about to make videos about it again. Anyway, I don't really want to make this video any longer, so see you in the next video. Have a good one. Toodaloo!